Hello everyone. Today we learn about blood. So what is blood? Blood is defined as a connective tissue. Like all the connective tissue, it is made up of cellular elements and an extracellular matrix. The cellular elements referred to as the formed element. It includes RBC, WBC and platelets. The extracellular matrix called plasma makes the blood unique among all the connective tissue because it is fluid. This fluid, that is mostly water, suspends the formed elements and enables them to circulate the cardiovascular system. What is the basic function of the blood? Blood is unique and it is the only fluid tissue in the body. The function of blood includes carrier of gases, nutrients, and waste products. Oxygen enters blood in the lungs and is transported to the cell. The carbon dioxide produced by cell is transported in the blood to the lungs, from which it is expelled. The ingested nutrients, ions, and water are carried by the blood from the digestive tract to the cell, and the waste product of the cells are moved to the kidney for elimination. Next function of the blood is the clot formation. Clotting proteins help stem blood loss when a blood vessel is injured. Next is the transport of processed molecules. Most substances are produced in one part of the body and transport in the blood to the another part. Next is the protection against foreign substances. Antibodies help to protect the body from the pathogens. Transportation of the regulatory molecules. Various hormones and enzymes that regulate the body process are carried from one part of the body to another within the blood. It also maintains the body temperature. Warm blood is transported from inside the surface of the body where heat is released from the blood. It also helps to maintain the pH as well as osmosis. Albumin is also an important blood buffer and contributes to the osmotic pressure of the blood that act to keep the water in the bloodstream. Next is the physical characteristic of the blood. Blood is a sticky, opaque fluid with a characteristic metallic taste. Depending on the amount of oxygen it is carrying, the color of blood varies from scarlet to the dull red color. The blood is heavier than water and about 5 times thicker or more viscous, largely because of its formed element, including the RBC, WBC, as well as platelet. Blood is slightly alkaline with the pH range between 7.35 to 7.45. The temperature of blood is always slightly higher than the body temperature. The average person has about 5 liters of blood. The blood that runs through the veins, arteries, and capillary is known as the whole blood. That is a mixture of about 55% of plasma as well as 45% of the blood cells. About 7 to 8% of your total body weight is blood. The components of blood includes plasma, RBC, WBC, and platelet. So we'll discuss about one by one. So first is the plasma. So what is plasma? It is a liquid component of blood in which the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets are suspended, as you can see in this image. So this is the image of the plasma. It constitutes more than half of the blood's volume and consists mostly of water that contains a mixture of water, sugar, fat, and protein as well as salt. The main job of the plasma is to transport the blood cells throughout your body along with nutrients, waste product, antibodies, clotting proteins, chemical messengers such as the hormones and proteins that help to maintain the body's fluid balance. There are three types of the proteins present in the plasma. First is the first is the albumin, second is globulin, and third one is the fibrinogen. So what is albumin? The albumin is the most abundant of the plasma proteins. It is manufactured by the liver. These molecules serve as binding proteins and transport the vehicles for the fatty acids and steroid hormones. Albumin is also the most significant contributor to the osmotic pressure of the blood. That is, its presence holds the water inside the blood vessels and draws the water from the tissue across blood vessels walls and into the bloodstream. This is turn helps to maintain the both blood volume as well as blood pressure. Albumin normally accounts for approximately 54% of the total plasma proteins contained, and clinically it is available 3.5 to 5 gram per deciliter. Second component is the globulins. The globulins are the family of the globular proteins that have the highest molecular weight than albumins and are insoluble in pure water but dissolve in dilute solution. Some globulins are produced in the liver while other are made by the immune system. Globulins, albumins, and fibrinogen are the major blood proteins. The normal concentration of the globulins in human blood is about 2.6 to 3.5 gram per deciliter. All the globulins fall into one of the following three categories, including the alpha globulins, beta globulins, and gamma globulins. Globulins can be distinguished from one another using the serum protein electrophoresis. It exists in the various sizes. The lightest globulins are the alpha globulins, and that is typically have the molecular weight of around 93 kDa, that is kilodaltons. While the heaviest class of the globulins are the gamma globulins, and that is typically weight around 1193 kDa. Being the heaviest, the gamma globulins are among the slowest to the segregate to gel electrophoresis. The immunologically active gamma globulins are also known as the immunoglobulins or antibodies. The alpha and beta globulins transport the iron, lipids, and the fat soluble vitamins, that is A, D, E, and K, to the cells. Like albumin, they also contribute to osmotic pressure. The gamma globulins are proteins involved in immunity and are better known as the antibodies or immunoglobulins. Although other plasma proteins are produced by the liver, immunoglobulins are produced by a specialized leukocyte known as the plasma cells. Globulins make up approximately 38% of the total plasma protein volume. Next component is the fibrinogen. The least abundant plasma protein is called fibrinogen. Like albumin and the alpha and beta globulins, fibrinogen is produced by the liver. It is essential for blood clotting, a process described later after this topic. Fibrinogen accounts for about 7% of the total plasma proteins volume in clinical level of 0.2 to 0.45 gram per deciliter of total blood. Other plasma solids, in addition to proteins, plasma contains a wide variety of other substances also. This includes various electrolytes such as the sodium, potassium, and calcium ions, dissolved gases including the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen, and various organic nutrients such as vitamins, lipids, glucose, and amino acid, and metabolic wastage. All these non-protein solutes combined contribute approximately 1% to the total volume of the plasma. So next is the RBC, that is red blood cell. It is also known as the erythrocytes. Known for their bright red color, red cells are the most abundant cell in the blood, accounting for about 40 to 45% of its volume. The shape of red blood cell is biconcave disc with a flattened center. In other words, both faces of the disc have shallow ball-like indentation. The red blood cell survive on an average of 120 days. That is the lifespan of the red blood cell. So red blood cell contain a special proteins called hemoglobin that help carry the oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body and then returns carbon dioxide from body to the lungs so it can exhale. Blood appears red because of the large number of red blood cells which get their color from the hemoglobin. The percentage of whole blood volume that is made up of red blood cell is called the hematocrit, and it is common measure of the red blood cell level. Next component is the WBC, that is white blood cell. The white blood cell protect the body from the infection. They are much fewer in number than the red blood cells, accounting for about 1% of your blood. There are five main types of the white blood cell, including neutrophils. The most numerous type, it help protection of the body against infection by killing and ingesting the bacteria and fungi and by ingesting foreign debris. Second component of the WBC is the lymphocyte. It consists of three main types, that is T cell and natural killer cell, which both help protect against viral infection and can detect and destroy some cancer cell, and B cell, that is the B lymphocyte, which develop into the cells that produce the antibodies. Next component of the WBC is monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils. So, monocyte, it ingests the dead or damaged cell and help defend against many infectious organisms. Eosinophils, it kills the parasites, destroy the cancer cell, and are involved in allergic responses. And the last component is basophils. It also participates in the allergic responses. Next component is the platelet. Platelet is also called thrombocyte. Unlike red and white blood cell, platelets are not actually cells but rather a small fragment of the cell. A platelet helps the blood clotting process by gathering at the site of the injury, striking to lining of the injured blood vessels and forming a platform on which blood coagulation can process or occur. This results in the formation of fibrin clot, which covers the wound and prevent blood from leaking out. Fibrin also forms the initial scaffolding upon which new tissue forms, thus promoting the healing. Thank you.